Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michaela and this is the Sugar Folk Homemade Podcast where I talk about all the things that I've been crafting. This week I only have knitting to share, which is a first for the last couple episodes at least. But I have officially been bitten by the summer knits bug, and without completely abandoning the projects I already had going, I just want to make all the summer things. So I have quite a bit to chat about. So I hope you'll stick with me all the way through to the end, and let's just jump right in. We will start with what I'm wearing. I just finished this recently, so if you've been here for a while, you already know what this is. But this is my Reset cardigan, Reset Cardi. This is knit in a cashmere yarn, which was such a luxury and what is that word I'm looking for? Indulgence to knit with. I loved it so much, and the color is just breathtaking, and the buttons that I put on I think just go with it perfectly. I just have it over a little floral dress today. But it's pretty cropped, but I have some jeans and shorts that are high enough that I can wear this with a little tank top underneath. And yeah, it's just really cute. I'll leave the link for all the patterns below. And yeah, that is what I'm wearing. I love this thing. I've been trying to wear it as much as I can, even though it's starting to get warm here. So I haven't been able to wear it too much, but any day it's like 80 or a little bit below, I pull it out because I know most days, now that we're heading into summer, most days where I am are like 80 and above. So this might be one of the last times I get to wear it this season. We'll see. And disclaimer, if you notice that I'm talking kind of funny, I've talked about this in the past. I get these all the time. I have a canker sore on the inside of my lip, and so I'm trying to like avoid rubbing it on my teeth when I talk. So if I'm like making weird facial expressions, that's why. Okay, so moving on, we will talk about the things you've already seen first to get those out of the way. So the first thing you have seen before is actually a half-finished object. I have finished sock number 1 of my Midsummer Blossoms sock, and I am obsessed with it. That's all I can say. I just think it's so darling and feminine, and I think the first time I showed you guys what I was doing with this sock, I said the word ethereal, and I still very much feel that way because it is very basic, but this beautiful lace up here. I just think the colors are perfect, and I don't know, it's so beautiful. And I'm really looking forward to finishing the second one so I can wear these even through the summer. I may wear them with some Birkenstock sandals because it just has that cute little lace to show off. Like, I don't want to hide these down in boots. I want these to be seen. So yeah, that's sock number 1. This is a pattern by This Handmade Life, and I knit mine. I did the 64 stitch cast on, and I knit mine on 2.25 millimeter needles, and I find that that is my perfect sock. Not too tight, not too loose, perfect. I made the mistake of, I actually have a pair of socks that I knit one, and I did the whole sock on a 2 millimeter needle. And I can get it on my foot, but it is so uncomfortable that I haven't even started the second one. I'll probably frog the first one. It makes me sad that I knit a whole sock for no reason. But I've been trying for a while to find out, or to figure out my perfect needle / stitch count combo that is perfect for my foot, and I think I finally found it. So yeah, that is my one finished object, which is only half, but it still counts. Okay, now the next whip, since we're already on socks, I'll show you the other socks that I've been working on, which you have seen. These are the Ruffle socks by Petite Knit, and these are for my sister-in-law, and they are coming along nicely. I don't remember where I was last time, but as you can see, I have finished the heel, which we did do a contrast color just for the heel. So this pattern actually has a different kind of heel in it, and it is one that I want to try at some point, but we really wanted a contrast color in there, and it just worked better with the heel flap. And also she knows that she likes the fit of a heel flap, so I didn't want to go messing with what isn't broken, so we went with a heel flap. And I'm knitting these on a 2.75 millimeter 64 stitch cast on, or 64 stitch count, I should say, because the cast on is not 64 stitches because of the ruffle. But they do still fit really nice. These are like a really easy to pull on, a little bit loose fit on me. They fit her perfect. I had her try them on after the decreases to make sure I didn't need to decrease a little bit more, and she really liked the fit. So I think they're working up pretty quick because they are on bigger needles. So even though I have the same stitch count as I normally would, the row gauge is a little bit bigger, so it seems to be growing quicker, which is nice. I'm trying to finish this sock before I start my second of mine, so I'm kind of alternating which sock I'm working on, and I feel like that kind of helps me defeat the second sock syndrome a little bit because I'm mixing it up. So that's working out nicely for me, and I know that we will have these done in time for fall when she can wear them with her boots. So no worries about time on these, but I do want to get them done for her. All right, the next whip that I have is my Upwards top by Lily Kate France. And last time I showed you guys this, I was a little worried that it was going to be too small because it looked tiny. But now that I have joined the front and back, I was able to try it on, and now I'm kind of afraid it might be too big. I'll show you what I mean. There are so many ends. It drives me crazy when I'm working on it. Okay, so first just let me show you what we've got so far. Okay, it's kind of hard to show because it's like a big open flap at the top. Okay, so we have the front, or it could be the back. This is a reversible top. You can wear it either way. But this is probably what I will wear on the front. So it's just a little halter neck. And then on the back, you have your little keyhole design. Like I said, it's really hard to hold it all up at once. And then all these loose ends are just everywhere. Okay, so I tried it on, and what I'm worried about is, let's see if I can do this successfully. I'm afraid that the armhole is going to be too low. Maybe not when I look at it here. But when I tried it on, it almost looked like it was going to cut in really far on the chest area. And you know, I like to be moderately covered, so I don't know. But I think, I don't have a picture of it with me right now, but I think in the pattern, I think there is more I-cord along these raw edges, which I think will kind of pull it in just a little bit and keep it sturdy, if that makes any sense. So that is my hope, because I do really want this tank. I think it would be really cute. And even though this is superwash wool, but it's such a light gauge that I feel like I could definitely get away with wearing this throughout the summer. Our summers here are pretty hot, but they're not like hot. It's very rare that we get into like high 90s or 100. It typically sits, I would say, like late or high 80s, maybe something like that, in the heat in like the midsummer. But I'm typically inside in air conditioning anyways, so yeah, I'm really excited about this. I really, really hope that it works out because I just think it's really cute. And maybe I'll just have to buy a different bra, because the reason that I was worried that that was going to be too low or too far in is because the strapless bra that I have kind of goes through here. It's like a bandeau type strapless bra, and it's pretty tight up here to keep it snug, so then I get like that, you know, that skin that hangs over, and I don't really want that to be visible. But we'll see. We may have to figure out a different bra situation. That seems to be a common theme for the summer knits that I've been picking, but we'll make it work. So that is my upwards top. I'm using recommended needles because in the past I have knit her patterns and I seem to have pretty much the same gauge as her. I did not swatch for this. I'm just assuming that I still have the same gauge as her. So we'll cross our fingers and hope for the best. Okay, the next whip I have actually has quite a bit of progress, and it is my Till cardigan. I have finished the body, and I am now on Sleeve Island. So let me turn it around so you can actually see the full body. I did crop it just a bit, but it's not super cropped. I'll put it on here in a minute and show you guys the fit. I'm gonna have to take this off anyways because under this light that I have attached to my phone, I'm like starting to sweat in this sweater. So I'm gonna have to take it off. So on the sleeves, if you look at the pattern picture, which I'll put here, the sleeves are very balloony, and I do like a balloon sleeve, but I think for this, I don't want it to be quite as balloony. So I'm just now getting to the elbow section, and I just did a sleeve decrease, and I think I'm gonna do a series of decreases throughout the forearm, not to go completely down, but to make the balloon a bit less dramatic. I would still like a little bit of the balloon at the end, just not quite as big as what is in the pattern. So give me just a second and I will change into this one to show you guys the fit. This one is, like I said, it is cropped, but it's not super cropped. Like this is right where, like if I were to put my hands on my hips, this is where my natural waist is. So it's a little bit below, which I think is perfect because I'll be able to wear it with jeans, but also it won't be too long to wear over a dress so that it won't look frumpy. But yeah, and it is just so beautiful. Love this pattern. And as you can see, the sleeves are a nice generous size, which I like. So if I have a long sleeve dress or long sleeve shirt, I can wear this over it pretty easily because I have a lot of room in there. That's partly why I want to keep it sort of bigger through here, but not as big, because I still want room in there to be able to fit another sleeve. So yeah, and of course we're still missing the button band. Ribbing, I did do a tubular bind off, which is always so satisfying. It's always daunting, but it's always worth it in the end. I did have an issue where I started my bind off. I have this like random loop hanging out, but I figured I can probably conceal that whenever I do my button band. And this is a Quince & Co. yarn. I forget the name. The color is Stream, which is very appropriate because it is like a beautiful stream. Or at least what you imagine a beautiful stream. They're usually not blue, but you know. Anyways, I really am happy with the way that this is turning out, and I feel like it has knit up relatively quickly. It seems like it's taking me a long time, but the actual amount of time that I spend on it versus how quickly it is growing is nice. I am using recommended needles for this, and I'm knitting the size oh gosh, the size 2. I didn't bring my pattern over here with me, but I believe it is the size 2 for this. I'll clarify over here. Now I've got my sleeves all messed up. Okay. Now the next whip also has quite a bit of progress, and it is my Time sweater, another pattern by Lily Kate France. This one, I can't remember if I had it joined yet last time. I think I had just joined the front and back, but now I'm almost finished with the body. So I tried this on the other day on these needles, which really I should have switched to a bigger one because I almost lost stitches. It was pretty stressful, but it is fitting like a glove. And I'm glad that I did not make the V as deep as the pattern says, because where it hits on me now is perfect. And if I would have kept going, it would have been too low for me. So it is currently at my natural waist, but I don't necessarily want this to be super cropped. I do want it to be short enough that if I did want to wear it with something high-waisted, I could, or like, well, really, I would like that I could wear it over a dress if I wanted to, but as long as it's long enough that I can tuck the front into whatever bottoms I'm wearing, then it doesn't matter if it's cropped enough for high-waisted things, you know what I mean? I can just tuck the front of it and that'll work. So not too long, not too short. I'm kind of going for a happy medium on this, which I think I'm not far off. I don't remember how long I don't actually know if it's ribbed at the bottom. Let me look at a picture because I have a feeling I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so there is a little tiny bit of ribbing at the bottom, maybe like an inch, if that. Actually, no, there's like 6 rounds of ribbing at the end, and that's it. So yeah, it's like an inch. However, it says for the if you're making it longer, to do a 1-inch hem, and if you're doing a cropped version, to do a 2-inch hem. I'm curious what that is for. I guess cropped things sometimes look better with a longer rib. Anyways, that's besides the point. I'm excited to move on to the sleeves on this one because the sleeves have a really cool element where, I'll see if I can just put the picture here, where it's almost like the stitches are, I've done what I think this technique is before in, was it my shawlography? Something that I think was Stephen West, or maybe even not, I don't know, but I think I've done this technique where the stitches are elongated and then you let them go so that you get those long lines, and it almost, I don't know how to explain it. You can see it in the picture. But I'm excited to get into that, and I think it'll be really fun. And again, I'm just loving this color. It's such a nice color. It's very springy, but that won't stop me from wearing this in the winter and the fall. It actually, now that I'm looking at it, it matches this dress that I have on perfectly because the green is almost the exact same green as the leaves on the flowers. Okay, so that is my Time sweater. This is also on recommended needles. I pretty much always use recommended needles. I find that I have a pretty average tension, not too tight, not too loose. So I don't typically have to change needle size, but if I do, I'll try and remember to mention that. And I am knitting the size 2 in this as well, right? I think so. I'm really bad at remembering those details. Okay, now the other whip that you have seen before, this was a couple episodes ago. I'm considering frogging, and it is my Advent wrap. which is like a cardigan, but a short sleeve cardigan. It's very bright and very fun, and I started this at the very, I won't even say beginning of spring, like end of winter, because I was dying for something bright. But I just don't think I'm gonna get enough wear out of this to justify knitting the rest of it. And also, one of the yarns involved, I actually really, really love. It's this pink, but it has some browns to kind of neutralize it. And greens. It's just a really, really pretty color. And I don't want it to go to waste in a garment that I'm not gonna wear often. And that's just because it's not gonna match anything that I have. And with a cardigan, it's not even like a button cardigan. This is something that has to be worn on top of something else. And I am a floral or some sort of pattern girl. So everything I have is already bold enough that I just don't think, I maybe have a t-shirt that I could wear under this. And that's it. So I'm thinking about frogging it. I don't know. Because when I look at it in the camera right here, that's so pretty. Those colors are so beautiful. Whoops. And it would be a really cute little wrap. But I just don't know. Because I feel like I could make a really pretty little scarflet situation. A little necktie scarf, neckerchief with that pink. And that would be perfect coming out of winter into spring. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm really torn on this. But also I would love to have an extra cord because, as you'll see, I have a lot of new inspirations coming to fruition. So I could use some extra cords. So we'll see. Hopefully I have made a decision about this by the next time I film, because I hate to just let it sit and languish. And I have a lot of projects in hibernation, but almost all of them I have intentions of finishing within the next year. They're just not seasonally what I want to work on. But this one I just don't, if I was going to work on it, it would need to be now because it's a very bright summery knit, but I'm just not feeling it. And why spend valuable time on something that I'm not 100% about, you know? So she's in hibernation. That's all I can say. I don't know. I'll think about it for a week and see where I land. Now, on to exciting things. I organized my yarn cabinet 2 days ago, something like that. In the process, I'm sorry, I just had a coughing fit and I thought that I was over it, but you can see on my face that I'm struggling a bit. So I went through my yarn cabinet maybe 2 days ago and I was so inspired. Everything I was pulling out, I was like, oh my gosh, look at this yarn, look at this yarn, look at these yarns together. Oh my gosh, I can make this, I could make that. Like all these patterns that I have saved on Ravelry are flowing through my brain. And I thought, you know what? I'm not making enough summer knits. I need more summer knits. So here we are. I started another ranunculus short sleeve with this Baby Bee Sweet Delight. This is technically for babies, but it just means it's extra soft. It's acrylic, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, 60% acrylic, 40% polyamide. So is it gonna be the perfect summer knit? No, it might be a little sweaty. But with a ranunculus, the gauge is so open that I think it'll be okay. And I had enough of it, and it's a very pretty blue. It says teal, but it's definitely more blue. It almost looks the same color as my cardigan, but this is much more like a true blue. Yeah, it's called, the color is teal too. Anyways, I had 2 skeins of this. I don't even know where this came from. I think this might have come in a box from a subscriber. Or no, because I've had this for a while. Yeah, I don't know where this came from. But I had 2 skeins, and each skein is 377 yards. This is a DK weight yarn. And the last time I made a short sleeve ranunculus, I only used like 420 yards with DK weight yarn. So I have plenty. So I think my first DK weight one, which is the one I wore a couple episodes ago, it might have even been last episode or 2 episodes ago. I used recommended needles for that one. I had to go back on an old podcast to figure out what needles I used for that one. And that one is pretty open and drapey. So I wanted this one to be just a smidge less open and drapey, so I have gone down 1 needle size. So I am using a US 9 for the body of this one. And I just started this yesterday, so there's not a whole lot to see. But I have started on the yoke design. I did not do the recommended cast on for the ranunculus pattern, which the very first one I made I did, and I do like that neckline, or that cast on, but I find this works just as well. I just did a long tail cast on with the cast on numbers and go from there. It looks really small, but it stretches quite a bit. So yeah, and I think the gauge is nice. It looks like it'll be dense enough that I don't need to wear anything under it, which is the goal because it is a summer knit. And with it being acrylic, I don't want to have too many layers on because it will get pretty sweaty. But I think this color is really pretty. I wish it would show up properly. I mean, you can tell it's blue, but in person it's a much truer blue than what you can see on the screen. Also, I'm sorry if the clinking of the needles is annoying. I think it'll be pretty. And I am doing short sleeves, not like last time. Last time I just left the stitches there like the pattern said, but this time I am going to pick those stitches up and cuff it down. And I think I'll have plenty of yarn to do that. I'm really excited about this one. And this was a total impulsive decision. I think I just saw the yarn and I said, what could I make with this? Oh, I know I could make a ranunculus. Let's do it. Let's cast it on ASAP. And that's exactly what happened. Plus, I'm trying not to buy any more patterns this month. I have a personal budget. So does my husband. We just operate on a budget. It works well for us. And we're ending the end of the month. So my personal budget is done. I've used all of it. So I'm trying to go back and use patterns that I already have, things like that. And the ranunculus is a tried and true, beautiful pattern. So that's what this is becoming. Now the next thing I found in my stash, if you follow me on Instagram, you have already seen this. It's so beautiful. Okay, so first, let me just walk you through how this happened. I pulled out my Zauber ball that I used for my Alpine Bloom, which I wore a few episodes ago if you haven't seen it. And then behind that Zauber ball, I pulled out this Zauber ball that I had completely forgotten that I had. And I haven't even measured this yet to make sure it's enough. I should do that. This is a very bright, colorful, fun Zauber ball. You can see there's like neon in there. Very pretty. And I thought, ooh, that would be really pretty in an Alpine Bloom. But I didn't think that I had any other fingering weight yarn to go with it to make another tee until I found these beauties. These are actually a lace weight, from which I can tell. This is from a subscriber, but there's no tag on it. However, this is like thread thin, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that's lace. But I think total there's like 1,600 yards in this. I weighed it. So if I'm holding it double, That should give me at least 800 yards. And I did not use that much for my alpine bloom. For my alpine bloom, I used like a skein and a half. So that was probably like 600 yards. So I think it'll work. And can you just imagine? This is the main color, and then the flowers transforming through these colors. I just think it would be perfect and very fun, because my other alpine bloom is more on the neutral side. So I think it would be fun to have a bright one. So I do have plans of winding this up, caking this up, and starting that soon. However, I'm a little nervous because the last time somebody is jamming out outside. Anyways, the last time I wound up lace weight yarn, I could not get it off of the ball winder. It was so tight and there was so much of it on there that it literally took me 30 minutes to wedge that thing off of the ball winder. So I know to be more mindful about at least starting it off loose so that I can get it off of the ball winder, but I'm still a little bit nervous. Also, it's gonna take a long time to wind these up. But I have half a mind to, I just thought of this, to put both of these on the Swift at the same time. Oh, I don't even know if I could do that. And I was gonna say wind it double the whole way so that I can just pull from one big skein, holding it double with 2 strands. I've never heard of anyone doing that. It probably doesn't work well. That was just a thought, because honestly, winding up this much lace is a little bit nerve-wracking. Not nerve-wracking, but I will put it off until I can't put it off any longer. But hopefully I'll have that done next time so I can at least get this cast on. Because, I mean, it's just a match made in heaven. Like, they have to go together for something. And I looked through Ravelry to find other color work patterns that I had enough for, and I can't find another one that has flowers the way that the alpine bloom does, because I feel like this needs flowers, because I mean, this is called Garden Party, so it needs some kind of floral design. Maybe that's just because I'm partial to floral, I don't know, but it just feels necessary. So anyways, that's what that's going to be. Now, one thing I do want to talk about that is coming, I thought I would have the yarn by now, but I do not. So before I went through my yarn stash, I thought I need another summer knit. I don't have like any summer knits going besides the upwards top. And I got on Ravelry and was looking at patterns, and I couldn't really find anything that stood out. I love all the basic tees and tanks and things like that, but they were all just very simple, and I knew that if I was to start a summer knit, there's a chance that I might not finish it in time to wear it much during the summer. So I thought, well, maybe I can find something that I can wear in the summer and it can be a layering piece in the fall and winter. And then I came across the Vilma top vest. Vilma. It's Vilma something by Gregoria Fibers. I'll put a picture here. And I thought, bingo, that is the one. This is so me, this pattern. I sent it to my sister-in-law and I said, look, I found the perfect pattern. And she said, that is so you. And it really is. And so my goal is to be able to wear it as, buttoned up as a tank in the summer. And then in the fall and winter, it can be a vest to go over dresses. And yeah, it's perfect. So I ordered some cotton yarn. I've already forgotten what I ordered. I don't remember what it was, but it was something very cheap. Because as I said, I was nearing the end of my budget, so I had to make it work. But yeah, I got it in an off-white color. I didn't want it to be too stark white, but I wanted this to be something neutral that would be very versatile. Gosh, I feel like I need to sneeze again. My allergies have been through the roof. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about this pattern. It's just perfect. It's the perfect year-round knit, in my opinion, because I will wear it as a vest or as a tank. I actually used to have this really cute, it was like a thick strapped tank top, scoop neck here, buttoned all the way down. I think it was like Ann Taylor or something. I had found it at Goodwill, and it's floral. And I loved that tank top vest, whatever it was. I loved that thing so much, and I wore it all the time. And I still have it, but it doesn't fit me anymore. It's just too big in the bust area, which is funny because I've not changed that much, so I don't really know what happened, but it just doesn't look right on me anymore. But I know that I will get a lot of wear out of this Vilma top because I have previously had a garment in that silhouette and I wore it all the time. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm just really excited about everything, honestly. And I still have so many things in hibernation that I want to finish before fall gets here. Like my pressed flowers cardigan. It's beautiful. I can't wait to finish that. My rose cardigan, which I have not worked on in a long time. Still very much excited about that. I have a Vertices Unite shawl that is on the needles, or it's not on needles anymore, it's on scrap yarn. And there's a turtleneck sweater, I forgot the name of it, that I started last winter that I am really excited about finishing. Another sweater that I started last Christmas that I want to finish. Well, actually, I don't know. That one might get frogged. There's a lot. And so I don't want to jump in and do too many summer knits because towards the end of summer, I definitely want to focus on getting those winter and fall projects done so I can wear them through the seasons. But as we all know, there is not enough time in the world to knit all the things that we want to knit. I wish there was, because I get on Ravelry all the time and I just go to the patterns page and see what's hot right now. And I don't think I ever leave without adding at least 2 things to my favorites. I think I have like 1,000 things in my favorites, to the point that I don't even know what's in there. I'll go to favorite something and it's already favorited. There's just so much, and it's so inspiring. I just wish I had more time. But I will make do with the time that I do have and knit to my heart's content. I do want to show you guys my garden soon because things are starting to emerge and it's starting to be lush and green and the flowers are blooming and it's just so beautiful and I'm so proud of it. So here in the next month or so, I really want to film a little garden tour for you guys. And I've only ever done podcasts and or like vlogs on this channel, but if there's anything that you would want me to film, leave that below. I know that's a very vague request, but yeah, any like topical kind of podcasts, things like that. Q&As, I think I did a Q&A one time, but my channel was, I think, pretty much smaller then. So anyways, if you have any requests, feel free to leave them down below. I do read every single comment. I try to respond to every comment. Sometimes I can, and sometimes I just can't get to them all, but I do read them all. So if you ever feel like you have something to tell me or you want to share, please know that I do read it. And please leave a comment because I love reading the comments. And anyways, I could just ramble on and on and on, but I now need to edit this video. I have to go to my neighbor's house to help her look through some things, and I have not knit today, so I would like to sit down and knit a little bit before we have to start dinner. So I will leave you there, and today is Friday, so if you're watching this when it comes out, I hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you hopefully next week because I have been pretty good on a schedule. I missed last week because we were out of town. But yes, I will hopefully see you next week. And until then, happy crafting.